Here are 4 great figures of some UA first-year girls for under 30 USD. Part 2. Welcome to Running on Empty. Next up is another UA first-year hero with the very invaluable power of creating. It's Momo Yaoyorozu in the Amazing Heroes Volume 37 by Bandai Spirits, at around 26 USD. At about 112 grams and 20 centimeters, Creati is the second lightest and second tallest figure of our lineup today. She also has the most removable parts, which I consider as a weakness because it can make a figure unstable than if it were just one cohesive unit. Aside from the removable parts, her only other weaknesses include that see-through black plastic that I hate because I think it looks cheap. I'd prefer budget figure manufacturers to use that solid black plastic that they used for Ochako, for example. Aside from the removable parts, another weakness for this figure is the fact that she's not easy to put together. When I was assembling her, I felt like I might accidentally break her. For example, her hands are quite delicate feeling, so feeding that metal pole through them was really scary because I was afraid I'd break her fingers. Also, her waist attachment needs a fair bit of downward force to get her in place. But that's more or less the weaknesses for this figure. As for the strengths, immediately I love this great dynamic pose. Because of how dynamic this pose is, I don't mind this clamp that they've used to support her leg. In fact, I prefer a clamp support like this than the usual peg supports that budget figure manufacturers tend to use. Also, of all the figures today, Yamomo's has the best skin tone because they've gone the extra mile to add some peachy shadows to her elbows and hands, which really brings her to life. Her hair sculpt is also magnificently done, with the voluminous tendrils of her ponytail elegantly sculpted and well executed. Her face, clothes, and body sculpt are also very well done, and in fact, I'd give her face a solid A+. I also appreciate that they threw in a little bit of wrinkle detail where they could on her bodysuit and boots. I also thought it was funny and a nice touch that they gave her reference book behind her some bent over pages to give it some realism. Now, there are only about 16 Yamomo figures in existence, and in my opinion, only 6 of those are true to character figures. And out of those 6, this one, I'd say, is easily the best looking in my opinion, in terms of facial expression and character accuracy. And for less than $30, you really can't go wrong if you're a Yaomomo fan. This is another solid A+ figure. Last, but certainly not least, is one of my favorite Class 1A heroes. A friendly, hardworking hero with a desire to not only provide for her family, but to also fearlessly and bravely save lives, and easily one of Class 1A's best fighters is the zero-gravity hero Ochako Uraraka in the Amazing Heroes Volume 32 by Bandai Spirits, for about 26 USD. I love Uraraka as a character, so I'll get this figure's most egregious weakness out of the way, and that's the fact that Bandai freaking Spirits disrespected her by putting their stupid peg on her glute region. Bandai, guys, it's getting incredibly insulting now. Why couldn't you attach the peg on her belt, for goodness sake? You could have made it a clamp support. That would have made a hell of a lot more sense on this figure especially, because it's in the character design. For me, this was really lazy figure designing, and I feel like even budget figure collectors like us deserve a little bit more effort from you, Bandai. Anyway, moving on. Another weakness is the cheap see-through black plastic, which I don't like, but that's more or less it. This is a phenomenal figure with a great dynamic pose, which conveys a lot of energy and movement. I also like that she's one solid piece and has no removable parts. I love the face sculpt, which I give an A+ for character accuracy, since they captured Ochako's in-battle facial expression brilliantly. At 127 grams and 18 centimeters tall from base to hair, Ochako comes in second for weight of the figure lineup today, but third for height. Aside from that though, as far as the rankings today go, I think she comes second to Ashido as an all-rounder figure, because she's surprisingly stable, in fact more stable than Yaoyorozu and Hatsume, and she's also well sculpted and painted. I also like that they added a nice bit of movement in her hair to bring to life her action pose. This is another A+ figure on a budget.